Welcome to Down Home with Ann Shack. Today we're going to talk a little bit about getting the distressed look. I have in front of me a card that I made which illustrates how to achieve a distressed look on a card using some simple tools. I began with a 5 1/4 inch Naturals Ivory card base. Naturals Ivory is awesome to use because it does already have some built-in speckles. Next, I layered onto that a 4 3/4 inch square piece of very vanilla cardstock. This very vanilla cardstock had been scored at 1 inch diagonals using the Simply Scored diagonal plate. But what really gives this card the vintage or distressed look are those little extras that are achieved using some very simple tools. And my goal today is to show you how to use those tools. So I'm going to start by taking this piece, which has been scored already for me using the score plate, and I'm going to start out simply by taking this 7-sided tool. And I'm going to just very quickly go like this down the edges. And you know what? If it wrinkles or crinkles, that's fine. That's just adding to the look. So the first thing I'm using is tool number 1, the 7-sided tool. Now I'm going to go ahead and just quickly finish this up so that you can see, and I'm getting it ready for my next step. And once again, you know, don't be gentle with it. Don't worry about it. Just zip, zip, zip. Usually when I do this, I add some little sound effects, some little music like zip, zip, zip. Okay, and this one, of course, since I'm demonstrating it, is not wanting to cooperate with me. But there you can see I've ruffled up the edges. The next thing I'm going to do is take one of my all-time favorites, a sponge dauber, and I'm going to use some soft suede ink. Just open this up. Okay. Dab it a little, and then dab, 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 dab. Now notice how quickly I'm going with this. You can't mess it up. After all, it's supposed to look like it's been run through the mill. Kind of like a war artifact or something. It's a survivor of card wars. Or around my house, it would be a survivor of the boxers. They love to do distressing. Okay, but now, see how quick that was? Very quickly just went around it. Didn't care what I was doing. Didn't pay too much attention. When you start to pay too much attention, then you run into some problems because it starts to look too perfect. And you don't want your distressing to look too perfect. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to add some watermarks to it. So this time I'm going to use crumb cake ink. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to take this wonderful water spot stamp from French Foliage. I'm going to tap it once. Well, actually I'm tapping it more than once, but I'm going to ink it up, stamp off, and then just randomly ink it up, stamp off, ink it up, stamp off, okay. And it looks like I might need something a little darker over here, so I'm going to ink. There. How quick and easy is that? Once again, don't worry. Don't worry about the placement. And we're done with my favorite stamp for distressing from French Foliage. I'm going to sit it over here, get it out of our way. And the next thing I'm going to pull out is a stamping sponge wedge. And I'm just going to ink it up. And now I'm going to add a little bit of color onto these edges, just like this. And actually I'm going to hold it down, just do kind of a circular type of thing, circular motion, get up, circular motion, ink it up, circular motion. And notice how that now brings out the diagonals here. Do it some more, and then I'm just going to catch in the middle. Ta-da! How quick and easy is that? Once again, using the stamping sponge. The next tool I'm going to use is going to be the color spritzer tool. And you might wonder why I have a rubber band on this one. It's not because it's broken, it's because it's my favorite. I have color spritzer tools that I use in the classes that I teach here, and this one is my personal favorite. Now what I'm going to use is a Stampin' Right marker. We're going to go to the thick end of it. Just going to take that out. Going to slide it into the tool. There we go. Going to position it and tighten it up. And we don't tighten too tight because we don't want it to be bowed. We want it to be straight as you look at it. When I'm talking about straight, I'm talking about this tip. I want the tip to be straight. So now I'm going to give it a couple of little practice spritz. And it's a good thing I did because I'm not in position. See? Ooh, it's not over the little hole. It's got to be over the little hole. There we go. Switched it over. Oh, ta-da! We have them. Houston, we've got spritzes. And now I'm going to hold that up, give a few little spritz, a spritz here, and a spritz there, here a spritz, there a spritz, and we're calling it quits. Okay, now, so that my marker doesn't dry up, I'm going to remove it and cap it. Now, the next little piece. Oh my gosh, what would a vintage card be if it did not have pearls? So I'm going to pick up a package of pearls, and I'm just going to be like a kid at Christmas. Look at that. It's a new package of pearls. Am I happy or what? And to transfer those, I'm going to use a little pair of paper snips. I'm going to open those paper snips up just a smidge, and then I'm going to use these smaller ones. Now I want you to see how I'm going to transfer these. So I'm going to move this over. I'm taking my paper snips and I'm just putting it right underneath the edge and transferring it over. Whoopsie! Get it right on the little thingy corners. Okay, right on the intersection. And there we go. Is that not fun and easy? Sometimes people wonder how I can transfer all those pearls. Well, it's because I use this little method. It doesn't get any better than that. Don't try to take them off with your fingers. That's hard to do. Once again, let me get this closer so you can see what we did. I'm just taking, see there's a little bitty point there. Little space. Slide it in underneath. Lay it down. There we go. Okay, now, once again, what you have is something that went from looking like this, okay, plain, to something that looks like this. And then all you have to do is go ahead, you can stamp. What I did was when I stamped this out, I did cut along the very edge, and then I used the coordinating framelit, which I happen to use Cherry Cobbler for that. This happens to be the Labels collection framelits. But there you have a very elegant, a very classic vintage Christmas card. Thank you so much for joining me at the Stampin' Shack. Bye-bye.